Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. This week, we got some more stuff. Every week, it's always something, okay? But as of lately, but this week, we have some more astrological shifts happening. We have Venus entering Leo. We have Mercury. It starts to begin its pre shadow retrograde phase in the sign Cancer. We have a Gemini New Moon. We're going to talk about all of that and what it means for you individually and what it means for the collective. If you've been feeling like you're preparing for a pivot, for a change, we're going to talk about that as well, okay? And let's get started. Let me show you our dates here. The dates that we have for this week: June 9th, we have Venus conjunct Jupiter. This is very, very positive. You're already feeling this. This could either be positive or being doing too much. Okay. We'll talk about that. Mercury is squaring Saturn June 9th. Mercury moves faster, so we'll feel this more June 9th, but you're already feeling the Venus conjunct Jupiter. The 12th, the North Node is retrograding and it's in Pisces. It's squaring Uranus in Gemini. And this is the shift here. Now we have on the 13th, Venus entering Leo. We have the pre-shadow phase, Mercury retrograde. That actually happens on the 12th. I have it on my on the 13th. And then June 14th, we have the Gemini New Moon. Okay. If you guys are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. If you are listening to this via podcast, welcome. How do I sound? Do I sound amazing? Is my voice a radio voice? Let me know. Yeah. If you guys are listening via podcast, please don't forget to download, share this episode, whatever you're listening to. You guys, I'm available on Twitch, on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, on anywhere you can listen to a podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of the places. Okay. So now let me pull up my chart. You are already seeing it, but I cannot see it. Windows are blocking it. Let me scooch it over and let's get started with the week. Okay, so first I said we are talking about Venus. Venus is sitting here. Look at it tomorrow on the 9th. I am filming this live June 8th, unedited. Oh, also, too, I want to say I've just started on X implementing dates and different advice on X. So go ahead. If you want to join that, you can see that. Do the tweets. I put them up. Different advice on what you're feeling. It's more about current energy. So even though this is weekly, but you'll get more of the daily kind of energy there. Okay, anyway, so back to what I was saying. Look at Venus and look at Jupiter. Ooh, first of all, both of these planets are benefic planets, meaning that they're super, super positive. At the same time, it's at 25 degree. 25 degree is an Aries degree. It means something new. It means something selfish. It means the first, okay? Independent, impulsive, okay? Very fast energy as well. Now, I find that just because these are benefic planets, a conjunction, meaning when the two planets are sitting together, can mean both negative or positive, or maybe even both, okay? Doesn't mean that it's just positive, even though we're dealing with two positive planets, okay? And Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer is a time where emotional abundance, family blessings, stronger relationships, opportunities to create greater comfort, security, and happiness is in your personal life, especially in the sign Cancer. You could be feeling a lot of happiness, or you have lately, because this is something you're already feeling. Enjoying some positive and supportive relationships. You are feeling gorgeous, darling, because that Venus energy is all about attraction and aesthetics. Maybe you're even dressing really good. This is all about glorifying love, okay? This is traditionally considered one of the most benefic combinations in astrology because both planets are associated with growth, abundance, relationships, and blessings. Cancer adds the theme of family. It adds the theme of home, emotional security, and nurturing. It's the energy of feeling safe, right? Now, you could be feeling two things. You could be feeling like you're not lucky being safe or have security with female friendships because this also represents that. But there is a theme of safety. And what are you doing yourself or what are you going to start to do? Okay? There could be an awakening of how you feel about female friendships as well. Okay. Now, home and family life, there could be maybe you're buying a home, maybe you're beautifying a home, maybe there's some family gatherings, maybe you're reconnecting with loved ones, maybe you're creating a stronger sense of family bond. Cancer also represents the past. So there could be some stuff coming from your past and it could bring abundance or it could be overdoing, okay? Venus represents our finances, so there could be some increased generosity, support from your family, or trusted connections. Maybe there's growth in real estate or someone from the past giving you an opportunity or finances. This could be dealing some positivity when it comes to security, so like food, hospitality, caregiving, anything home based or um, resources. Not resources is not the word. Stuff that helps your equilibrium. Okay. Relationship could be flourishing. Maybe you are reconciling. Is that the word reconciling? Okay. Healing a relationship, okay? Maybe you're going to a wedding, an engagement. Maybe this could even be fertility a little bit here because it is dealing with motherhood as well. But there could be definitely some emotional healing. Now, as a collective, again, Cancer represents families, housing, could represent motherhood, where you feel safe in that environment, your ancestry, your homeland, national identity, homeland security. So collectively, this could bring focus on housing and affordability, maybe family-centered policies. Maybe you're talking about the unhoused, or you're doing something with homeless. Increase attention to children and caregiving, growth in the home, growth with the industry of home, growth with the economy. Now, because I told you that this conjunction, it is very strong, but it could be negative or positive or both. Okay. So you could be overspending, you could be overindulging, you could be emotionally eating. Venus loves the comfort and laziness, okay? Being overly stimulated, avoiding necessary boundaries. There's indulgence. This is a huge energy of trying to be around the rich and living that lifestyle, and it's not really your lifestyle. Socially ambitious kind of energy, very gaudy aesthetic. It's like overblown. Again, laziness as well. Okay. So that is what we have with that energy. I hope you guys been taking advantage. On the positive side, there's abundance and feeling emotionally secure or dealing with your mom or dealing with things in the past. On the negative, you could be overdoing when it comes to financial security and not having it. That could be a huge discussion or a theme as well that you've been feeling already. Okay. Now, Mercury this same day is going to square, is it squaring Saturn? Mercury is squaring Saturn. Ooh, Mercury is also sextile Mars. So also too today, not today, June 9th, because Mercury is about the day, but you already could be feeling this energy too. It starts to feel it. Mercury sextile Mars, meaning that anything you try to be very ambitious, you can say it and it will come. Okay. If you're about writing, communicating, emailing, if you send it out of trying to pursue something, that works out really good for you. Now, this one here doesn't. When it squares Saturn, Mercury in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries forces conversations to become a little bit more serious. Are there some delays or hesitations in conversations? Emotions meet reality. Plans are tested. And people are asked to think carefully before they say, okay, because Mercury is all about the talking. What survives this transit tends to be more practical rather than the dreams, the fluff, the fantasy. Okay. You have to be well thought out here, very strategic. It's also dealing with the number 12. 12 means ending. This is before you do that reset. There is an end of, also, too, this could be using your intuition, or this could be dealing with closure, end, closure, all kind of the same thing, right? Mercury rules our communication, thinking, news, information, contracts, decisions. Saturn rules restrictions, reality, responsibility, authority, consequences, and delays. So, this is when people start to be pessimistic. They start to worry. They're saying negative things. You could already be doing this, okay? You're having limited and narrow perceptions. You're being cynical. You're being pragmatic. There's an attitude. There's complaining. You're expecting the worst, okay? So, be aware of that. Mostly, most of my Aries and Cancers could be feeling this for sure. Libras could be feeling this as well because it's dealing with all the cardinal signs. Libras and Capricorns, they could be a little bit negative Okay. This is communication blocks. This is a lot of reality check. This is about having serious conversations. This could be authority because that Saturn represents the authority with youthfulness. Mercury represents the youthfulness. But it's also very emotional. So the authority versus emotions. Cancer communicates through feelings and personal experiences. And that Aries energy is very direct and impulsive. Okay. It's like, prove it. I need tangible results. Mundane astrology, meaning the world astrology, Saturn represents the government. It represents authority figures. It represents the CEOs. It represents big corporations. And also to maybe military because we are talking about Aries energy. Mercury in Cancer represents the public mood. It could represent family, housing concerns, national security. So there's some limitations here, especially if you're trying to sign a contract and the government is saying no, it is over, it is the end. Remember, because we're dealing at 12 degrees. But this is like signing contracts. This is also commerce and trade. And there could be some things dealing with oil as well, and some restriction here. Anytime you're dealing with the water sign, you are talking about water energy. So like a blockade of some sort in the water, in the lake, in the ocean, in the streaming, I don't know. But it could be some type of resource. And usually 12 degrees of resource is usually dealing with oil, just so you know. But this could be media information, and there's some negative things in the headlines. Serious practical debates, information being challenged, fact checking, and accountability. This is definitely, because I'm in California, that energy of Spencer Pratt, and then Trump saying it's fraud. Even though we get that a lot, but this definitely represents that kind of energy because it does represent the end. Mercury does represent ballots, and you are talking about things that deal with homes, and he is talking about homeless a lot, Spencer Pratt, in his conversations. Yeah. And there could be a restriction here, a new restriction of some sort, or an aggressive restriction, but it moves very slow, which the voting ballot in California moves slow. But I mean, it's a Democratic state. I live in California, so surprise. He didn't win. That is, but I do want to say, as a Californian, as someone who lives in Los Angeles, 100% housing is an issue. Homelessness, the unhoused, whatever you want to call it is not a beautiful LA. Okay. So something has to change. But would LA go Republican? I don't think LA would. But anyway, so that is what we have. Also, too, this could be dealing, I said economy, maybe something with economy, but more like the cancer basic needs kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So that is what we have for the 9th. I think I spent a lot of time on that. Let's move on the 12th here. June 12th, we have the North Node doing something. Where's my North Node? In Pisces. It's retrograding, and it's got some doings with Uranus and Gemini, and it's squaring it, meaning it doesn't get along with it. You know, Uranus moves very fast. So it makes me think that something's moving too fast or impulsive when it comes to your destiny, or maybe it's not moving at all, or maybe there's a huge change because Uranus likes to shake things up and you don't like it, right? 2 degrees represents you in a relationship, you and God, okay? You and the other, for sure, okay? So not moving fast and patient for your destiny. This aspect can feel like destiny is detouring unexpected course of correction. North Node squaring Uranus often brings sudden change that pushes you towards your true path. What feels disruptive first may ultimately be the thing that frees you from the outdated version of yourself. The future arrives unexpectedly, and your job is to stay flexible enough to meet it. Uranus always is expect the unexpected. Do something different, be out of the box. Don't do what you basically normally do. In a sign Gemini, is going to be communicated, it's going to be said. Maybe your siblings are going to be saying it to you. The North Node represents your growth, your future, where life is trying to take you, your soul's evolution. Uranus represents change, freedom, being outside of the box. Protest too. So that could be happening. Awakening surprises, breaking old patterns, sudden changes in directions could be happening. Awakening to a new truth, breaking free from old timelines. You know, I was telling my husband, you know what, I think I want to do this. And he was looking like, where the hell did that come from? That came from here. Okay. And talking to my husband about it, a relationship, and he was saying how that will affect our relationship. It just is so funny. Breaking free from old timelines, nervous energy though. Uranus, whenever it's involved, is very restless. It's very unpredictable. There's a lot of mental stimulation. It gives like anxiety energy. But be aware of that. Meeting unusual people that could be dealing with your future, but they're weird. That major energy. Also, too, this represents technology, AI platforms, any type of broadcasting online kind of energy, and it could be dealing with something for your future. It doesn't get along very well. Okay. Now Pisces too is very faith based. It's about your intuition and feeling. This energy is about the details, superficial details, and they're not seeing eye to eye. Okay. Scattered focus, anxiety, overthinking, escapism, all that happens. Now this same day is that Mercury 16 degrees, it starts to enter the pre shadow phase of retrograde. Okay. Mercury again deals with, let me see if I can remember, try to give you it all. Okay. Mercury deals with transportation in your local community. Also could be dealing with flying. It deals with logistics. It deals with details. Yeah, it deals with details. It's the ruler of Virgo. It deals with commerce. It deals with social media. It deals with all forms of communication. It is about your community, your siblings, early education. I said all forms of communication. I meant all forms of, yeah, communication. It also deals with early education. I think I said early communication, early education. Okay. I'm trying to think, is that it's about your hands. It's about the little gadgets, the technology, all that could be messing up. You could lose your car keys kind of energy. Okay. Now, I've said this and I said it several times before. If you are planning to travel this summer, do all your logistics before the 12th, please. Okay. Then you're in the clear. Okay. If you're planning on signing stuff, getting things in order, do all that before the 12th. I did a video on Mercury retrograding in Cancer. It's already up. Go check that out. But Cancer rules family, home, real estate, mothers, children, emotional security, the past, memories, and ancestry. And when it's in a pre-shadow phase, that means family issues could be resurfacing. There could be some housing discussions happening. There's emotional conversations. Things from the past are brought up over and over and over again. Maybe you're revisiting some old memories. Maybe there's stuff that deals with nostalgia. Mercury also dealing with signing contracts. So you could be signing contracts under any of these themes. Maybe there's someone contacting you from your past, especially if you're a Cancer. If you're a Cancer, get ready for all the phone calls. You're like, oh, really? Now you want to talk to me? Really? I'm a Cancer, so I'm getting ready. Okay. Again, communication rules: thinking, speaking, writing, contracts, travel, technology. When it's in Cancer, it's very emotional, very sensitive. Okay. So just know all that there could be issues dealing with stuff from the past, and it could be very emotional, like emotional security. Where do you feel safe at home? It is a very feels kind of energy. Issues with the family and things of the past. Okay. And because we are not just talking about personal astrology, I like to talk about the collective, mundane astrology. This is also dealing with housing issues for sure. Let's see. Mercury also represents what's in the news. So there could be some huge things dealing with in the news. Okay. Now, I remember warning everyone that June 29th is a big date to look out for because we have a full moon. And then this is at Mercury's retrograding fully on the 29th. There was some other stuff, but yeah, that's what we have. Now, on the 13th of June, we have Venus finally entering Leo. And Venus itself is the planet that is in charge of love and relationships, our equilibrium and harmony and balance, aesthetics. Attraction is what we naturally attract. Whenever there is support, that's usually Venus involved. It's also our self worth, money, beauty, pleasure, friendships, creativity, being diplomatic, values, justice, fairness. Okay, it's the ruler of Libra. Okay. Now, when you're talking about mundane astrology, Venus is in charge of the economy, financial markets, again, peace treaties, how you are with our allies and women as a whole, a team, marriage, relationships, again, luxury industry. Let me see, food of some sort, comfort food, social harmony as well. Now, Leo is the planet, it is ruled by the sun. But Leo, if you know about Leo, it's all about the leadership. So let's see what Trump has to deal with because he is a Leo rising. Okay. But leadership, being recognized, creativity, as well. Confidence, children, romance, entertainment, pride, legacy, the heart. Gold could be a big thing as well. You may be attracting some gold while Leo's in Venus. Leo in Leo and Venus in Leo is also like where you want to get the spray tan, where you want to get the tan when you want to lay outside. You want to look very gold. And oh, you guys, I have a Venus and Leo video in aesthetics. While Venus is in Leo, all of us will be appreciating that energy too. But while Venus is in Leo, there's grand romantic gestures. You're desiring for appreciation. You want to be appreciated more. You want to be on stage. You're very charismatic. You're really into the luxury things. Now you want red bottoms and a Louis Vuitton purse. There's a creative energy here and having confidence with creativity. Maybe you're loyal. You have a deep commitment. There's attention to relationships. There's bold personal style. Living from the heart, celebrating yourself. As a collective, we will be looking at celebrities. Venus and Leo always attracts Beyonce and Taylor Swift. So let's see what they're going to do. Entertainment booms, luxury spending increases, high profile relationships. That powerful female, her, who's somewhat of like a lion kind of energy. National pride increases. Artistic renaissance, image and branding starts to matter more. Leadership through charisma. The collective wants to have joy and happiness. A huge thing being attracted to like a youthful Instagrammer or influencer kind of energy because Leo represents children and you're attracted to them, not in that way, not in pizza way. But they get your support in something as well. Okay. Let me talk about the dates while Venus is in Leo. What is it going to look like for us, the collective, or you personally? Okay. June 13th through July 9th is when Venus will be in Leo. That doesn't seem right, is it? Let us see when it ends. That is right. That is right, darling. Okay. July 9th is when it. Why did I question my notes? I don't know. I don't know why I did. But anyway, it will end July 9th. So if you got any of these things, you want to be recognized, you want to have some leadership, you want to improve the self-expression, creativity, confidence, and personal identity, this is the time to do it. Okay. Now, the ruler of Venus, because it's in the sign Leo, is the sun. The sun is the host of Venus, and Venus is the guest. When the sun is strong, when it's in healthy relationships with all the other planets in the sky, it's going to make some great confidence. It's going to make things very easy to attract. You're going to have stronger finances, more creativity. You're going to have better social experiences. Okay. When the sun has bad aspects with certain planets, then there's going to be challenges with the things, with your aesthetics and your beauty and your harmony and your balance and fairness. Okay. The sun does have some challenges with Saturn. So things could be looking very delayed when the sun enters Cancer. There'll be some issues there. It will square Saturn. So a lot of relationship delays. The sun also will be in Cancer. It's going to have a quincunx to Pluto. So that could be some transformation happening or a lot of deep, deep things happening of obsession with the ego. That could be happening too. The sun is going to be squaring inside in Gemini while Venus is in Leo. The sun in Gemini, is it squaring? No, it's not squaring the north node. That's fine. It will, when it enters Cancer, the sun, it will be having some doings with Neptune. That's not the best. So there could be some confusion when it comes to relationships or female friendships or mixed signals. So be aware of that. I would take advantage while we are in Gemini season of Venus being a Leo. And when it hits Cancer, it's going to hit these two planets. May not be the best. And it will quincunx this a little bit. May not be the best, but overall, later on in Cancer season, it'll be more positive. But just know Venus will be involved there. And then also, too, the sun is going to be ruling Mercury, which is retrograding in Cancer. Not the sun, the moon is. And when there is a full moon, that's going to affect Mercury. So full moons, new moons are going to be affecting two planets. It's going to be affecting Mercury. It's going to be affecting Venus. So be aware of that. Speaking of the new moon, we're going to have a new moon in Gemini. And this new moon is going to be on the 14th. And let's talk about a Gemini new moon. Okay. First of all, oh wait, before I talk about the Gemini new moon, let me pull some cards for Venus and Leo. Okay. And see what we have for some predictions for Venus, even though I talked about predictions. But I just like to do a little bit more. Okay. I got Neptune in the first house. We got to use the cards. We have the Hangman for Venus and Leo. So a little bit of deception, a little bit of looking at things in a different perspective. Be aware of that, using more of your intuition when it comes to your finances, your support. We have the Page of Cups. There's messages coming your way when it comes to relationships and finances. Oh, we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is abundance. We have that in Leo. So Venus and Leo is going to bring abundance, a lot of self-made energy, like a woman making her own money and being strong and courageous. We have the Page of Brooms. So this is starting to be strong, passionate, assertive, creative. All of that energy starts while Venus is in Leo. Okay. Now let's talk about this Gemini new moon. The sun is going to conjunct the new moon. I mean the moon, so that makes it a new moon. Gemini new moons is all about new conversations, is about new informations, new narrative. Okay. Gemini is about communication, media, technology, learning, transportation. Why do I have okay, wait. Sorry, I jumped the gun. Oh, I have Gemini new moon and okay, sorry. My notes are still on Venus and Leo. I did not say this. Okay. First of all, Venus in Leo is going to affect my Leo placements, okay? My Leo placements, you're going to get more attention, more confidence, more visibility, maybe a new relationship, darling, okay? More creativity is all about what brings you peace and harmony, and a desire maybe to even change your image or improve your image, okay? Aries and Sagittarius, this is great for you whenever Venus is in Leo. There's opportunities, there's romance, there's creative breakthroughs, easier social connections, more fun, and you're very spontaneous, okay? Now, Aquarius placements. Now, Venus is opposing your sign while it's in Leo. So there could be some issues with compromising, partnerships, balancing personal needs with others. Now, Taurus and Scorpio placements, Venus and Leo, it squares your energy, okay? So there could be tensions with relationships, financial decisions, ego clashes, value conflicts. Growth comes with adjustment. Just know that, okay? And let me see. Important dates. Oh my gosh, I have all these in my notes and I was just going to move on. Important dates. June 13th is when Venus enters Leo. Once it enters Leo, it's going to oppose Pluto in Aquarius. This is not just for you personally, this is about the collective. This makes things a lot intense when it comes a lot intense. Makes things very intense when it comes to relationships, okay? There could be power struggles, there could be obsession, there could be magnetic attraction, jealousy, relationships could be transforming, money and control issues. Always about the money, always about the money. In Aquarius, it's retrograding, also dealing with AI, crypto, somehow that could be involved as well too. June 13th, so just know when Venus enters Leo, it's not very happy because it's going to be opposing Pluto. There is this huge transformation happening, okay? Now, Leo likes things a little bit more traditional because it's in a fixed sign. Aquarius is fixed energy, but it likes it new, okay? Now, Venus is going to trine Neptune. It's going to trine eventually Saturn. June 13th, when it starts to trine Neptune, it's going to be more romantic. There's inspiration, there's creativity, there's a spiritual connection. It's you following your dreams. Very great for people who write poetry, who do art, who do music. A lot of imagination here. Working for the best. So this really works, especially in Leo, and Aries makes you bold with that energy. Love that. Okay. On June 15th, this is going to quincunx the North Node, meaning that there could be tension or something that feels quite uncomfortable with the direction you are going or what you value that could be shifting or your destiny. There's some corrections here with that course. Okay, does this relationship really work for my future, kind of thing? Okay, June 16th, Venus is going to trine Saturn, but it starts to trine when it hits 3 degrees. Yeah, that's June 16th. It starts to trine Saturn. This is really good because if you want a long-term relationship, this is great energy while Venus is in Leo for commitment, stability, long-term planning, loyalty, and responsibility. Also great for budgeting and planning your finances and building in for the long term, okay? Venus is also going to sextile Uranus. So things are there could be some surprises. Are you thinking outside of the box when relationships? Sextile is not strong, but the energy is out there. So if you want to use it, this is great for new friendships, uh, using some technology to beautify things, okay? Unexpected romances, creative breakthroughs. Now, what we will have on the 17th of June is that the moon will be sitting next to Venus, and this is connection, beauty, self care, socializing, fun, romance. The moon represents the home, so you could be very emotional while trying to beautify things. Okay, people tend to be more affectionate and expressive with this energy. On June 30th, here, um, June 30th. Jupiter enters the building of Leo. So we are going to be feeling this energy even stronger with Leo. Together, both of these planets in these signs, we're going to have love, abundance, creativity, popularity, celebration, confidence, bigger personalities, more entertainment, more creativity. Gold, you get gold, you get gold, you get gold. All that matters of the heart. Just know when Jupiter also enters Leo, it will be affecting Trump. I haven't done Trump in a while. I do have some stuff on him, and I just need to film it. Where is Trump here? Let's put Trump as a rising. Once Jupiter, oh, look, Venus. Okay, I also want to say Venus entering Leo is going to give a lot of support to Trump. Okay, once Venus enters Leo, it's going to get closer to his Pluto. Pluto represents a huge transformation and people having support, or maybe more power to him, and him having some support from his allies as well, because we are talking about a president, a leader of some sort who's in his allies, and there's some power here. Good or bad, conjunctions are good or bad. Okay. Venus getting close to that. Mars is also dealing with him pursuing things with his allies together, in charge of leadership and being stuck in that leadership as well. But also, this could be him getting support himself as a singular person, because this is in his first house. Once Jupiter enters there, Jupiter entering your first house can make you gain weight too. So there is that. But bigger than ever. Big, 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 big. Okay. So let's see what happens with Trump June 30th. All right. Um, Let me see. Also, too, JD Vance has a Leo rising. Any Leo risings, this is going to be big for you. Okay. July 9th is when Venus will enter Virgo, and then it will end. It will be sitting next to that South Node. So there's going to be a lot of releasing kind of energy, but the mood will shift from everyone look at me, am I gorgeous? So let's spend a lot of money. Okay. And it's going to change into let's improve the health. Let's cleanse some stuff. Okay. So that will be happening. So just know collectively you're going to want to be seen. You're going to want to share some talents. You want some creativity. All that's going to be happening. And yeah, now that is what we have. Officially, I'm ending that. Venus and Leo. Thank you if you wanted to watch that part. Venus and Leo. Okay, now let's talk about the new moon in Gemini. Okay. Now, the new moon in Gemini, as I said earlier, my notes are all scattered. But Gemini energy represents communication, travel, your day to day travel. It represents your community, your siblings, early education. It is a planet that loves to do pranks. It is a planet that talks to the above world and the underworld. And it is a planet that is very social. It's in charge of our hands. It's very dexterous energy. This new moon in Gemini is the new moon is known as the pink moon. It's known as the strawberry moon. The moon in Gemini is very expansive energy, and it is in the midsummer, and it helps with the summer solstice. So I love the summer solstice because it starts Cancer season, and I'm a Cancer sun. Anyway, but who doesn't like summer and like being outside? Anyway, but whenever we have a moon in June, we are talking about love, okay, and being receptive to love. This could be self love and love with others. Ask yourself what you need to feel love and what traits you're dealing with. What is your ideal traits personally that you want, so you can ex- uh, so you can have that and develop it yourself, so you can vibrate that energy and get it back. Okay. It's a great time to manifest friendships. Gemini new moons. Okay. It's a great time to manifest any type of relationship, socially or personally. Socially, when I mean socially, is social media as well. Okay. Now it's a great time to desire and cultivate what you want to be in tune with. All right. Now, St. John's Wort. If you're doing any new moon rituals, that's a great for June moons. St. John's Wort herb, strawberries, red and orange, and bees, the honeybees. Okay. Now, again, this new moon is all about learning, social media, ideas, information, networking, messaging. Gemini rules is ruled by Mercury. So this new moon is going to bring a lot of mental energy and curiosity. Curiosity kills the cat, says the new moon in Gemini, but it won't kill the cat. It actually would reward the cat. Okay. This new moon can bring new conversations, new ideas, learning something new, social media, content creation, meeting new people, sibling contracts, local travel, changing your mind. Because Gemini is very flexible. New information can alter what you were once thinking. Speaking your truth, finding your voice, curiosity leads the way. The universe rewards you asking questions during this new moon. Now, globally, okay, I do want you to know we were talking about Trump here. Now, Trump has some Gemini energy. And if you see here, this new moon in Gemini, where is the new moon? This new moon in Gemini is sitting very close to his sun. This is going to start something new with Trump. So let's see what happens to Trump on the 14th. And yeah, sitting in that 11th house, which also represents government. But if you were a Leo rising, I would say this is a great time to manifest. But as a collective, with that said, not but, as a collective, this new moon for the collective, mundane astrology, there's some major news cycles that could be happening. There could be a shift in media, technology, communication, social media, transportation, education, a lot of information. Gemini rules information. So there could be some type of new information coming out. This is definitely for the podcasters, the writers, the newsletters, Substack. Okay. Yeah. So be aware of that. Younger generation too could have a voice here as well. Now, this is at 24 degrees, this new moon. Isn't this new moon at 24 degrees? Or is it at, I think it's at 24 degrees. Let's take Trump out. First chart. Oh, already had it. Okay. This new moon is, yes, it's at 24 degrees. 24 degree is a Pisces degree. So there's something that's going to be very intuitive, something dealing with spirituality, dreams, compassion, faith, sacrifice, endings, over the end, a little lost in the sauce, subconscious, a transition of some sort, because we could be talking about ending. Um, so when you are manifesting, or when you are conversing with people, or when you're doing something that deals with social media, you want to add those elements to it, or there is going to be that element added to it. So it could be like trusting your intuition, and while you're researching the data, or while you're getting this information, spiritual downloads. There could be creative inspiration, a new story about healing. Gemini wants to talk about it. Pisces wants to heal it. Okay. Maybe you're following a curiosity of some sort, and then there's purpose added to it, because that Pisces adds the deepness to things. Okay. Also, too, the one thing that we have with this Gemini new moon is that it's going to sextile Chiron. Chiron is a planet of healing. So there could be new conversations, and there is a healing aspect. There could be a new perspective that can help you move forward. Or maybe this is something that was once a difficult situation, and now there's healing involved. Is that 29 degrees is an urgency degree, meaning it really wants to heal. But Chiron in Aries is very confident. It's about your identity. It's about your physical body. It's about being independent, about starting something first, having the courage, and having some self-trust. Okay. Being very impulsive. Okay. New moon in Gemini. For all my Geminis, this could represent a new start for you. Maybe you're reinventing something. Maybe there's new opportunities. Yeah, definitely new goals for the Geminis. Now, all my Libra placements, and I'm not naming all the placements. This is who is going to affect these Gemini new moon. If you have Libra placements, and it's trining at sextile and Chiron, there's a lot of healing conversations, new opportunity happening for you. Very positive for all of my air signs. Okay. Now, if this new moon is going, not if, this new moon also is going to be positive for all my Aquariuses. Great for you. Creativity, networking, friendship, social media, all that's positive for you. Okay. Now, all of my Sagittarius, you may be feeling this in not the best light. There could be an aha. Anytime the sun is involved with the moon, it is enlightening some kind of thing, but the new moon is kind of dark. But just know there could be something dealing with a relationship that could be compromised of some sort, because it is in that seventh house there. But competitive kind of energy, Virgos, and we are talking about late degrees, so this is not going to affect all my Sagittarius, all my Libras. But if you have late degree energy, is going to be affecting you. I want to say that too, that this new moon is in that third decadent, which is dealing with Uranus. So expect the unexpected, highly intellectual energy, major communication here too. But Virgos, this doesn't work best for you either. You could be overthinking something. There could be some mental stress. Pisces in late degrees too. Not the best. There's some sensitivity, some emotional things, or maybe some confusion here with this new moon. Okay. Yes, but that is what we have for the new moon. Let me pull some cards here for this new moon in Leo. Let me mix it. I mean, new moon in Gemini. See, I caught myself. Okay. New moon in Gemini. Let's see what we have for you. Ooh, a lot of money. Okay. People taking their time, being planning things out, thinking long term, thinking about logistics, being practical, having some sense. Okay. And also too, energy with relationship. This is very Gemini energy too. A lot of themes of relationship and being equal and having the same values, giving and receiving here. That is that 24 degrees in Pisces. I would think charity work as well, but you could be receiving or giving something. And new opportunities in finances. There's a lot of Pentacle, Earth energy, major themes, one emotional energy, because we are dealing with the moon. Some emotions when it comes to relationships, but everything else seems more practical and financial, or something tangible happen, and you can make it happen. Okay, that is what we have. Oh, let me pull some cards for the week. What we have for the week, we have the Lover's card. Okay, there's a focus on the lover. Okay, or maybe there's a focus on you communicating this week. Okay, now for the collective, what do we have? The collective needs to chill and be quiet. Okay, maybe the collective won't be out and about saying things, or something's not going to be said. All right, that is what we have. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. That should definitely be on Trump and JD Vance. I have the notes on it. I just have to do the video. I want to talk about the eclipse coming up. I want to talk about the North and South Node moving in Aquarius and Leo, how that affects Trump and JD Vance. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.